Hey guys, it's me again. We're back with another Real Talk video. This time, as the title suggests, we're going to talk about VRChat relationships and why they can work and why most don't work. So let's get right into it. We're going to talk about why most don't work first, because then it kind of makes it clear why some can work. So the reason most don't work is because for a relationship in general, whether it's in VR chat, online, IRL, however the fuck you're doing it, the reason most of them don't work is because one or both people in the relationship don't know what they want from the other person. That's the biggest contributor, right? In most cases, they don't know what they actually want. They know they want a relationship, and then in some cases, they think they want a relationship, but they don't know what they want in the relationship. They think simple "I love you" when I wake up in the morning solves everything. That's enough for a relationship. But on VR chat side of things more so because this is what this is about, VR chat relationships. We're not going to generalize it to them all and like to all types. We're going to focus more so on just the VR chat side here. VR chat relationships fail a lot of the times because this game has gone down a path where everybody is pretty sexually explicit with one another. People go off into private worlds and ERP. People have orgies at the ERP, and like it's part of the game at this point, right? Like a lot of people do that stuff. And one thing that starts to stem what people think is a relationship is they'll go off an ERP with somebody and then they think they have feelings for that person. They get into a relationship and the relationship doesn't work out because neither person actually really wanted to date the other person. They were just really horny. Or the relationship is in one of those situations where both people or one of said people is still doing things with other people in VR chat and the other person doesn't like that, or they say they don't really care but they actually do, or the person that says they don't care really doesn't, but the other person starts to have feelings for different people. As a whole can of worms that we don't really need to get to on that part because like I think we can all get the picture here. We should all be adult enough to understand that yeah, it's not gonna work out. If I'm dating someone IRL and my partner is like, "Oh, I don't really give a fuck if you go sleep around with other people." That's not really that good of a relationship, and you can argue, "Okay, it's different in VR chat. It's ERP, it's not an IRL thing." Okay, sure. But what if you get to the point where you do meet your partner IRL? Are you still gonna, are you still in the same thought process then? Do things change? Because, I think they do. But, I digress. Anyway, they don't work out a lot of the times because of things like that. Because people are just horny and they think, oh, I ERP'd with this person. I'm interested in him. No, you're just horny. You don't actually want a relationship. You're horny. You just want to, take care of that mood that you're in at the minute. And then you convince yourself that you do have some interest in this person. And then, it doesn't work out. The relationship lasted for a month and you guys, you split up. And guess what? You're still fucking around with other people anyway. So, like, what relationship was there to begin with? The other side of the things is not knowing what you want in the relationship. Okay, like you get with somebody in VR chat, but you don't know what you want from that person. You knew you wanted a relationship, or at least you think you did, and then you get with somebody, and then it's all fine and dandy for like the first few days to a week, and then you start to understand, oh, I don't actually like this person the way I thought I did, or they don't give me what I want. But what do I want? You haven't figured that out for yourself yet, so you don't really know what you want. You just know you want it to be with that person, and now you end up breaking up. And a big problem with those breakups is sometimes they can lead into drama where you pick this person to get with, but you don't know what you want in a relationship. They might not know what they want in the relationship either, but they're dating you anyway. Then things turn south, you break up. Now you're talking bad about your ex partner to other people, or they're doing the same about you to other people. And now people have this negative view on you. And now we have a whole another can of worms of drama spewed in between your little friend group because you introduce your partner to your friends or vice versa, and now everybody thinks you're the bad guy or they're the bad guy, and it's like a whole bunch of bullshit that comes from it. Okay, VR chat relationships can work, but a lot of you guys that are dating in VR chat just don't understand what you want in the relationship. You don't you don't go into it with a thought process of I need to think about what really piques my interest about this person. Why do I like them? Why do I want them? And what do I want from them? You just think, man, I want to date someone. This person's kind of funny. He's kind of cute. She's kind of cute. They're, okay, let's give it a shot. There's nothing wrong with dating. Don't get me mistaken here. There's nothing wrong with dating, all right? But you can't just go from one person to another person to another person, like, because a lot of these relationships, right, they start, then they break up, and then they're with somebody else a week later, and then they break up, and they're with somebody else a week later, they break up, they're with somebody else a week later, they break up, and then you just hear constant this constant complaints about, I've been in so many relationships on VRChat, they just never work out for me. It's because you look in the fucking mirror, you don't know what you want in a relationship in the first place, right? Like, please, for the love of God, take your time. If you get into a VRChat relationship with someone, and it's like the closest thing you can get to IRL because you have somebody that you can interact with more so than you can anywhere else, right? Like, if I date IRL, there's physical interaction, there's uh the whole like social part of it, right? All in one, like it's all in one bag, right? You can physically interact with them, you can socialize with them, talk, you can go out and do things together, yada yada. In VR chat, you have the social part and you have a semi-physical, right? Because it's not really physical, right? Like, you can interact with them, you can, you reach over, give them a hug, give them a kiss, but like there's no actual contact made, there's no real contact made, right? So there's a cut in there, right? That's where VR chat is like a fault in relationships, because people, like, a lot of times they're just looking at the model, right? They don't see past that, right? On top of not knowing what they want, they just see that the model that somebody is using, the avatar somebody's using, and they think they're into that person, and it's like, okay. But if you were really into that person, then you can stretch past VR chat and do an IRL relationship too. Because if I'm going to be 100% honest, I think the majority of us who get into relationships on VR chat are looking only for a companion and not for, like, what I'm trying to say here. They're not looking for somebody that they can spend the rest of their life with. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Like, they're just looking for companionship for a short ride. They want they want a long ride, but they don't know how to go about it. So they take the short ride, and when shit hits the fan, they cry about it, right? Or they just bounce around to different people instead of like actually sitting down for a little bit, thinking about what they want in the relationship and how they want to go about it with their partner. Because like that's another big problem, is communication in the relationship, right? Because some people do know what they want in a relationship and they'll get into it and it still ends poorly, or it ends in a breakup regardless, because they don't communicate, right? Whether it be the person who initiated the relationship or the person that they got into a relationship with, right? Communication is so fucking important in relationships, and this can help tie into understanding what you want from the other person, because you might have an interest in somebody. You're like, man, this person, something about them, it piques my interest. I do know what I want in a relationship, so I'm gonna try and date this person. And then you date them, but that person, they don't know what they want, or maybe they do, but they don't know how to communicate with you, right? And then things head south. Communication is a big problem with the relationships not working. Not knowing what you want is a big problem with relationships not working, and just being overly sexualized and not understanding that you're just fucking horny. You don't actually want a relationship is a big problem with VR chat relationships. Okay, like the big three there, like we're an anime. The big three: sex fiends, lack of communication monsters, and don't know what I want, idiots, right? That's probably, maybe that's a little bit harsh on some of you guys. If it is, cry me a river. I don't really give a fuck. I'm just being honestly truthful here. Um, but on the other side, VR chat relationships can work, and one prime example of a relationship that is still ongoing. A couple of people that I've known since what was it, late 2017, maybe early 2018. I don't remember the exact date, but Andis and Shy, they are two people who play this game. They're still together. They've met up IRL. They're still going strong. Those two know what they want. They obviously communicate, because if they couldn't understand what they wanted and they couldn't communicate with each other, they wouldn't still be together. But they're still together to this day, as far as I'm aware. And Long-lasting relationships, I guess you can't really say a long-lasting relationship is always a good example because you take my relationship with, my ex that went on for 5 years, 4 or 5 years and then, abruptly ended, it can be an example of, you know, people lacking communication. I think in my own experience with my ex, she didn't know what she wanted and she didn't really know how to communicate. So it boiled down to I don't know what her thought process was for it, but I can only assume at some point it got to her to just like I gotta end it now because like I don't actually want to be with this person for whatever reason, and that ended. But I mean, 5 years is still a very long time for a VR chat relationship to go on, right? Like that's a pretty hefty amount of time, and I think VR chat relationships can work with that in mind. But again, both people in a relationship need to know what they want from the other person, what they want in the relationship, and they need to be able to communicate with each other. Those are the big ones there. If you can't, especially the communication, right? You can get by not knowing what you want. You can, okay? But you need to be able to communicate to your partner so you can get around to understanding what you want, okay? Because at some point you might realize you don't actually want this person or they don't give you what you want. You come to terms with what you want at some point and either that person you're dating can give it to you or they can't and that can be the decider for the relationship on staying together or breaking up, right? But without communication, without communication, a relationship is almost 100% guaranteed to fail all the time. Not to say that they will all fail. There are very, very rare occasions where lack of communication, they still somehow work out for God knows what reason. But, those two people will stay together. And for the people on the other side of the spectrum that do the what is it called the poly relationships. I'm gonna go with that the short term because I know the short term poly relationships where it's more than one or more than two people in a relationship. I'm not talking about any of you guys. Y'all to me, I think y'all are kind of freaky. That's kind of freaky. I think it's supposed to be two people, two people in a relationship. You on your partner, and you. Not you, your partner's boyfriend or girlfriend, and their boyfriend or girlfriend, and they whatever the fuck else. Like, nah, I'm not going into that details. I don't think those work out. Uh, and if they do, there's got to be some kind of like I don't know. That's some weird shit. We don't need to go into it, but there's some weird shit. But for VR chat, like I said, learn to communicate because I know a lot of people who play this game are I can't say they have poor social skills. No, I can say that. They do have poor social skills. A lot of people who play this game have poor social skills. I'm not even gonna be able to I'm like I'm not gonna be nice about that. A lot of people that play this game have poor social skills. I am not one of them. I have wonderful social skills. Uh you much like myself, probably started out as a very introverted type of person if you're playing VR chat. This is a good game to open up to people and become more of an extroverted person. I'm not telling you you have to fucking flip the switch overnight, right? I'm not telling you you have to become a full blown extroverted person, but at the very least, if you're going to get in a relationship with anybody, you need to communicate. You need to learn to talk to that person. If you've got an interest in somebody sitting on your ass, piddling your thumbs, is not going to make it go anywhere at all. It's not how it works. This is real life. And even in VR chat, you're still a real person behind your avatar. Learn to communicate. Figure out what you want and get it done. Otherwise, you're going to be in the cycle that most VR chat people do of either just constantly dating different people and never being satisfied, or complaining about how you can't find the right person, or getting into that drama because you feel like the other person did you wrong or you did them wrong and they're talking bad about you, yada yada, you get it? Figure out what you want. Learn to communicate. Start talking. If you've got an interest in somebody on VR chat and you want it to work, or you want to attempt to get it to work, you need to communicate with them. And you also have to make sure they can communicate with you. What the fuck was that sound that just happened? Um, oh, it was Steam. My Steam. I'm sorry about that. I got distracted. Steam made a noise. But anyway, get with somebody. If you get with somebody in VR chat, communicate with them and get them to communicate back with you, right? You need to set down some ground rules at the start of a relationship, right? You need to tell your partner things that you enjoy and things that you don't enjoy, and get from them what they enjoy and what they don't enjoy, right? Because if you blindly date people, you're probably just going to be on this routine of just constantly blindly dating people. And yeah, I guess at some point it could work out for you, but why would you want to go through 20 different people to try and find one person when you can settle down with one person in a much shorter amount of time if you just work on communication and understanding what you want in a relationship and want from your partner? It's not easy. Like, I'm not trying to sugarcoat this for you guys and say it's very easy to do that. Like, I know some people have good social skills, but they're poor at socializing overall. Like, they're just very timid about being a little bit upfront and putting their foot down on stuff, right? I get it, I understand. But if you want your relationship to work, you need to swallow hard and just talk, because at the end of the day, talking is how you get by with stuff, okay? But yeah, relationships can work, right? They can. They most certainly can. But it usually, like I said, it involves people who know what they want and how to communicate. And for those that don't work, most of the time, which is the majority of VR chat relationships, as I've stated, you're your own worst enemy. Start talking, start understanding what you want. And for the ones that are horny, stop, like, you guys are probably some of the worst, because you bait these people into thinking that they've got a partner, and then you realize, "Oh, man, I didn't actually wanna date this person, I was just fucking horny." And then you split up with them, and now they're like, "Damn, I actually like this person," and, well, he's he or she is not with me anymore because, well, when they broke up, it's only been, like, a month. Like, you horny motherfuckers need to stop fucking with people in relationships. You're some of the biggest problem in this game when it comes to relationships, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. You put a lot on the fucking table, and then you fucking take it all away because you understand what you want in the relationship wasn't a relationship. You just wanted an ERP with somebody. You fucking animals. Quit it. Like, okay, before I put you on the spot even more, right? If you wanna go fuck around with people in VR chat, you do your ERP or whatever, go for it. It's all you. All right. Do whatever the fuck you want. I'm not your dad. I'm not your boss. I'm not your manager. I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life. Right? You do whatever the fuck you want. Okay. But I am gonna tell you, stop baiting people into relationships, okay? If you do something with somebody and then you decide that you wanna date them, show some goddamn fucking commitment, or understand that you don't actually wanna date them, you just really fucking horny, alright? And on the other side, if they have an interest in you, right? Even if they don't even if they're in the same position where they're just really horny, like, don't bait them into a fucking relationship by saying yes. Tell them, no, I'm just a degenerate. I'm in the game DRP. I don't want to date, right? Don't fucking lead them on, because that's fucked up. Because that's another way to start drama, because you bait them into a relationship, break up, and then they start talking bad about you, right? Quit it. You horny degenerates, quit baiting people into relationships and stop falling into this like mindset of, well, I kind of feel bad if I say no. No, you make shit worse when you say yes and you're not actually wanting that relationship. Say no. Put your goddamn foot down and say, no, I'm not looking for a relationship. I just want to ERP with people, okay? That is not that hard. You make it, like, you yourself make it feel hard when you can just say no. Okay. Anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about for VR chat relationships. Yes, they can work. It's very rare. And most of them don't work, as I stated already. And a lot of this applies to IRL dating too, communication and understanding what you want. So if you're somebody watching this, for whatever reason, and you have bad IRL relationship problems too, sit back and think about, maybe you're the problem because you can't communicate, or you don't know what you want, or maybe the people that you are picking are the problem because they can't communicate or don't know what they want. All right, like, sit down and think. Again, there's nothing wrong with dating around people. That's like, dating used to be the kind of the prime way to figure out, you know how to get into a relationship, because, like, you got to understand that dating and being in a relationship are two different things. Dating someone is me taking someone to, let's say, McDonald's, and getting to know them a little bit. Hey, let's go on a date. Let's see, if we can connect a little bit. You talk to them. That's where the communication comes in. You tell them about, things that you're wanting to do in the future and that you would like from a relationship, stuff like that. You don't have to drop everything on the table at once. Just get to know them. right? Get to know them, see if they share some things that are in common with you, right? Like future plans and stuff like that if you want to, but like, don't drop too hard on them, right? Because some people are a little bit afraid to commit right off the bat. Just for the most part, communicate, get to know them, go on some more dates, right? You can do the same thing in VR chat. Okay. If you are interested in somebody on VR chat, don't say, "Let's get into a relationship." Just say, "Hey, you wanna, like, spend some time with them, alright? Spend some time with them, get to talking with them, and, see if you can blossom something into a relationship." You can date them by taking them to movie worlds and watching movies and anime. You can't really take somebody out to eat in VR chat, but you can spend time with them still regardless and talk to them. You don't need to spend your entire day with them and shit like that, but, just communicate. Communicate and understand what you want, and make sure that person does too, okay? Anyway, I'm done with this video. I've talked about everything that I wanted to talk about it. It also has not been a half a year since my other video, so nobody can say anything about that. Not that anybody ever did. I always make the joke myself. But yeah, with that being said, I'm done with the video. I'm going to probably do another one about another subject here pretty soon because there's a few things that I do want to talk about, but I haven't gotten around to recording them yet. I think I'm going to be a little bit late on putting this one out because it was supposed to be out on this day, but I think it might be like a bit late for some people. So, it is what it is. At least I still got the video out. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter and all that shit, or however YouTubers do it nowadays. I don't fucking know. I honestly I don't care. But yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.